Quie Iesu Domine, dona eis requiem.
Good morning and happy Monday. This is Sunday's Forgotten podcast, talking about the gospel. You know, our Lord oftentimes talks in parables, and I think often the parables are meant to unsettle us so we don't get necessarily all the easy answers we want, because Jesus is looking for a response from the will, not just from the feelings, how you feel about it. In fact, I think he's trying to cut through that. He's trying to get us beyond just reacting on an emotive level and get to our will, to wrestle with things. And so we had the parable yesterday in the gospel, which is probably the only parable left, where we sense that the ways of the Lord are unfair according to our preconceived ideas. And of course, the parable is there's a vineyard owner who goes out at dawn, hires somebody, goes out later in the morning, hires more people, goes out at midday, hires more people, goes out at mid-afternoon, hires more people, and finally goes, really just an hour before sunset, to hire the last group. So all these people share in the work of the vineyard to various degrees, from the ones who worked all day to the ones who worked 1 hour. And at the beginning of the parable, the ones that worked all day were promised a just wage. And of course, the foreman is called in and he starts paying people with the last first, and the last get a full day's pay. So the first hire expect to get more, and they get paid the same amount. And they're ticked off. They're angry. Why in the world would you put us on the same level as these guys? They worked 1 hour, we worked the whole day. And the vineyard owner reminds them, hey, I'm not cheating you. You know, I'm giving you what I promised you. So God is, first of all, good to his promises. We should be mindful of that, and we're not. Because what is it? What are the things that creep in? The people working all day compared themselves not to the vineyard owner who gave them a job, and they should be thankful for that. They compared themselves to somebody else who they perceive got off easy or got more. So in their mind, they're doing the perennial cry of humanity, which is one of the saddest whines in that we have. It's not fair, which 9 times out of 10 commutes to I don't like it. So, you know, if we're really going to decry injustice, we better have something more than I don't like this. And the vineyard owner asks some pointed questions. Am I not free to do as I please with my money? Well, of course he is. Absolutely he is. There is no problem with that whatsoever. That still doesn't change the fact that they are envious and resentful. I mentioned this very briefly at the end of my talk yesterday at Mass, since I didn't have a homily, that the people working all day have the exact same attitude as the older brother in the story of the prodigal son. They do not see the enjoyment of being in the vineyard, just like the older son didn't see the enjoyment of being with his father and their farm. He missed it completely. He is resentful, probably of 2 things. The story of the prodigal son doesn't tell us. He's resentful that the punk came back, his younger brother, who wrote his father off for dead, and then had a good time with their money, and a good time that he wished he could have perhaps had. Who knows? We don't know. It does. The gospel doesn't tell us all the import of that, but there's a real big layer of resentment. You know, the virtuous should never envy the sinful, but we're tempted to, and that's worth praying over a lot. And then finally, the kicker is the vineyard owner asks, "Are you envious because I am generous?" Absolutely. I'd like to add some other salty words in there, but absolutely. And it pulls back a big veil on you and I. We do not want to be envious because God is generous. We want to be thankful that he hired us. Anyway, happy Monday. This is Sunday's Forgotten Video.